Hey guys, this is Drake Fox doing the very first podcast that I'm going to be doing. I don't know if I'm going to be doing very many of these very often, but when I do, I'm going to be doing these with somebody else at all times. But today, I have someone with me. His name is Suzagu X7.
Hey, how's it going, everybody?
We have a little bit of a delay, as you can tell, but sometimes it's consistent where it's big or it's small. Maybe while I edit this, it'll sound better. I'm also going to have images up so it won't be just a black screen. Oops, I hit the mic. um, do you have any thoughts about predictions or what you think could happen or possibilities about the Galar region at all? Because I have a few about the map.
Let's see. Yeah, the map looks actually really great. I actually like it better than the Alolan region. It looks a lot bigger, actually. And there's a lot more exploration around this whole map here because you start as like a farm area, then you see basically like London. You see the big, the big clock tower, and then later on you go through the mountains, and then you go to the final area, basically. Assuming it's the final area. This is just our first impressions of this Galar region right now.
Yeah, that's one of the many areas that could be the final area. I'll tell you those in just a moment. But if you go to the bottom of the map and you notice, you see where people are predicting this is where we start. At the very bottom where these buildings are, if you look over all the way to the water on the left, there's an island over there. You see it?
Yeah.
Nobody's talked about that. I've watched a lot of videos to see if anybody would talk about that little island over there. And it's partially covered up by some clouds. And like they did with the last couple of Pokemon games, they had some very special areas covered up by clouds before they completely revealed the area when the game was coming out. Now, I'm going to say if this game is going to be anything like London when it comes to the look, or I should say more like the UK, London is the very top. That could be the Ireland that people are trying to predict that's on land, but I'm just going to say that little island right there could be the Ireland island.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I could see that.
Yeah. Because Ireland.
You also probably forgot to mention is the very bottom of the map. You see the clouds and everything, and that could be like how, the very first Pokemon game was we just talked about before we started recording, and we were just saying that hey, you remember when you surf, you're able to go through that big ocean area. So I think the bottom part is completely covered by clouds, and I think that's going to be a secret area.
Yeah, that's true, but if you
because it's well covered, yeah.
If you think about it, that forest right next to where possibly the house you should come out of could be the forest that we saw in the trailer where the area is really foggy and it looks super spooky, and I really want to explore that area. I'm assuming it's going to have a lot of ghost types in there. Fingers crossed that we have some badass ghost types. But then again, it may not be.
Maybe we'll finally see a normal ghost type.
Oh, if it's not a legendary Pokemon, it's totally going to be mine.
Yeah, I really like the Galar region. It's just gorgeous looking.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of places that I can see just looking at the bottom of the map for the start. Looks like a lot to explore.
Now, a question I have for you, Drake Fox, is what type of Pokemon are we assuming we're going to see in the start of the farm area? What new Pokemon would you expect here?
Well, usually at the beginning of the game of every Pokemon game, there's usually a normal, a flying, and a bug. So I'm going to say the first one that we encounter is probably going to be the more common one, would be a flying type, because they have a lot of birds over there in London for sure, but the Ireland and Scotland, I'm not 100% sure, so I can't say, but they could have bugs down there more commonly because the bugs are all over the world. I mean, like, It'd be really cool if we get another Centipede or a Millipede, because Scolipede was a really cool bug. I really liked it. It was pretty cool. But
no, I was thinking what type. Oh yeah, sorry to pause you there, because we got so many ideas going through our heads right now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, what type of Pokemon I like to see in the start? I'm assuming from a farm we can see a chicken Pokemon, we can see a pig Pokemon,
Oh yeah.
a cow Pokemon. You know, something that's would fit in a farm, something that would fit the theme of the farm. And I'm thinking, yeah, of course, a flying type. We see some birds in there. You know, maybe a rooster Pokemon. That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, we could see a rooster Pokemon. Honestly, I'm gonna have to say what you said right there about the cow and pig stuff. The cow, I'd have to say we may actually get finally a first evolution of Miltank if Miltank doesn't, get something. And same with Tauros or Boufflant, because Tauros and Miltank are cows that are all over the place. I mean, like, cows are one of the most common animals in the world, and we have calves, but we don't have a calf Pokemon. Closest one we have to it is a donkey named Mudbray, and that didn't come out until the Alolan region, Gen 6. I mean 7, sorry.
Speaking of well, I know we're going too far ahead, but maybe we'll go through each region here, and then we'll talk about what other types of Pokemon we'll be talking about, because you know this is going to be kind of a lengthy one, because there's so much in our minds right now. But as for like the next area, which has a little lake here, I don't know what type of Pokemon we're going to see. I know we're going to see a lot of water types, of course, but
you talking about still next to the beginning of the map? Or are you talking about more above it, where it looks like it's right next to a train track, a railroad?
It's before we get to the. It's before when we just get to the town part where it shows the clock tower. It's just before it. The one with the lake in the center. Yeah, so I'm thinking that obviously we're going to see a lot of water types here, and as for ground types, I don't even know. Like,
well, if you go up a little further, if you look next to the area that looks like it has a crown on top of the building, if you look off to the left of it, that is more than likely going to be the ground type and or the rock type area. But then again, if you look to the right of it, that could be the ground type area.
Yeah. Because it's like a canyon area. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Now the water.
You notice if you look, if you notice on top of the mountain, there's like this little crystal area here. You notice that? You see that? Looks like a crystal cave area. We could be seeing like some interesting Pokemon in that area.
Actually, that could be a door. I've seen this image in really good HD, up close quality of that crystal looking thing you're talking about. That could be a door sealing away a legendary Pokemon. We could have a Pokemon.
I know what that is. It's that mine area. Remember that mine area that's shown in the trailer? Maybe that's what that is.
Maybe. That could be. That's what I thought too. Right. But I wasn't 100% sure, so I gave it the more... Because that cave area with all those different colored crystals and stuff, those are meant for your lightsaber that you're going to be getting. Yeah. You're going to go around and become a Jedi Knight now.
Yeah.
And a Sith Lord.
Yeah. Now as for the clock tower area, what type of Pokemon would you be seeing there?
Are you talking about
steampunk-like?
Okay, yeah, I know where you are now. Yes, I actually say that area is going to be the steampunk area, to where we're going to see a lot of mechanical-looking Pokemon. Who knows, maybe we'll get that as a new type, which I have as actually written down in my notes of what possible new typings we could get, mechanical being one of them. And a lot of people are probably thinking right now, isn't mechanical the same as steel? That's where you're wrong. Mechanical is similar, but not. Mechanical shows that the Pokemon would be made by man and Pokemon. They don't have to be born that way. They can be created that way. Like Mewtwo as an example, you mentioned not that long ago, that Mewtwo is a man-made Pokemon, but he's not a machine. He's flesh and bone. Well, at least we know he's flesh. We don't know about bone.
Now, I think since we're jumping ahead here, what new type do you think we're going to get in this game? If we do get a new type, at least, I don't know what that would. You think it would be mechanical, or the one you just mentioned, or should it be something else?
There's a couple of them that I actually have. Hold on. Let me flip through my notes to find them because I'm gonna forget one of them. Ah, here we go. I have the one that's probably going to be more than likely the least likely one ever. They're probably never going to do this one. Is radiation. Radiation Pokemon.
Radiation? Interesting.
Yeah, they've been poisoned by radiation. They become stronger or something, or it kind of like if you think about it, like the Ultra Beast, but they're from this dimension instead of the Ultra Space.
Yeah. So it's like if like what if like poison Pokemon like Grimer and Muck and all that.
Yeah, it would be like a poison, but it would be, yeah, Muck would be retyped as a radiated type because he's Muck and Grime. But if they from the looks of the map, there is absolutely no power plant to even think about this. If they had a power plant, then it would be more than likely an idea. But radiation would be a really good idea to do. If they had a power plant, it explodes in the middle of your gameplay, and after it explodes, it gets some Pokemon radiated, have radiation poisoning, and some Pokemon that were in there were killed, but then because of the radiation, reviving them as, like, I guess you could say as zombies, and stuff like that. And maybe there is one extremely lucky Pokemon that ended up becoming the new legendary Pokemon about this. And it's all 100% a radiated type. I put a lot of thought into it. What types do you think
they'll get in?
I also have mechanical, which I just explained. I have one element. There's a couple elements that I'm surprised I didn't put in here, and one of them is wind. No, it's not flying, it's wind. I mean, a lot of people are probably thinking, but it's going to be the same as flying. No, it's an element. It's not a physical type. It's a special ability type. A wind type would be really cool to see. I mean, like, I can't see it in this because after they revealed the Galar region, it looks like everything that they would have in here wouldn't benefit off of wind types at all. I mean, like, I see nothing in here that will help out with a wind farm or anything. I have the one that people actually speculated from X and Y because of Xerneas, the light type, because we had announced a new type.
Over here next to the canyon area, this white thing, I don't even know what that is. It looks like a ship. I don't even know what that is. Like, it looks so weird looking.
Where is it on the map?
So, you know how we looked through the crystal thing? And then if you look right next to it, right, like, after the middle part of the building where you said it was going to be rock or, ground type, what is that white and blue thing? It looks like a ship on the distance I'm looking at. I don't know what that is. I can't tell what that is.
Honestly, I'm not seeing it.
On the right side. On the right side. It's that weird
on the right.
shape.
I'm looking at the left.
White.
Okay, are you looking at the bottom where that little blue building is with, I'm assuming the water type gym?
Tell.
Or are you talking about the ice area?
Yeah, that one. I don't know. I can't tell. I just looked at it. I'm like, is that a ship? What is that?
Yeah, that if you're looking in the area that I think you're looking at, right next to the lighthouse, that is a boat.
Okay, yeah, it's just the angle. Yeah, it's just weird looking. Yeah, it does look like it. Huh? Yeah, didn't know it was.
Yeah, it's a boat. It's a ship that possibly takes us to another island, probably post-game stuff, as somebody said that I watched. I was trying to gather some information after I looked a lot of the stuff up, and I mean, oh my God, is this place one of the most looked at maps ever? Whew.
Yeah.
I have, I'm surprised that, going back to the new types they could come out with, 2 more, which would be more than likely not going to happen. I have Plasma, which is a stronger version of Fire, and I thought about this. Maybe they could do this with all the types, except for maybe Normal, due to it's supposed to be the normal type. They have a stronger version of every type. Fire, stronger version of fire is Plasma. And if they did that, you would see it as legendary Pokemon only. And if that happened, that means that, who knows, maybe they can retype like Groudon to a Plasma Ground type instead, which would be pretty funny to see.
Cool.
Because that's how lava is pretty much like ground, just bleh.
Yeah.
Also, I was thinking if I can figure out other names for, I don't know, water and grass and ice and stuff like that, stronger versions of that, I could come up with that. It would be a complete new element to add into this game. It would be really cool, instead of just straight up Plasma being fire, which, if they didn't make it a stronger version of fire, they could make it completely different, to where it's so hot that it's not even considered fire, it's just heat kind of thing. It'd be a heat type.
What's the last one? What's the last type?
The last one is gas. It's not, instead of, if you think about it, we have powder out there with the Pokemon. They use Stun Spore, they use Sleep Powder and stuff like that. I was thinking, what if they actually use...
I've noticed you forgot one. I noticed you forgot one thing you did mention a long time ago. I'm surprised you didn't put it on your list.
What's that?
And that is light type.
I did put that down. Light. I mentioned that about Xerneas.
You never said it.
Yeah, I said that. I was talking about Xerneas. That's when X and Y came out. People were predicting that Xerneas was its new type, was going to be a light type and not fairy. Oh, and I need to mention this. On the light type, not only is it strong against dark, it's also weak to it. And dark is strong and weak to it too, so it'd be a good yin-yang effect right there. And it'd be probably the only one. Surprisingly, we don't have a yin-yang like effect with any of the other types. Like how
they should have done that with black and white, when you had one that you thought was dark and one you thought was light, and they were reversed.
Yeah, that was the funny part, that I thought that was going to happen. Yeah, and they ended up being a fire and electric dragons. Which kind of...
That's a missed opportunity, because it was so obvious,
I actually thought they were putting a new type in, and I was getting this game literally a week before it came out, and I honestly didn't know that they were going to continue Pokemon after Gen 4.
I think that what type I'm thinking that's going to be in here, I think it would be kind of cool, but it's kind of too similar to a ground type. And I was thinking crystal type.
Yeah, that would.
Which I think that'd be kind of cool.
That'd be more of a rock type though than a ground type.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's not drastically different, but I think crystal type would be good.
Yeah, because they're stronger than rock themselves. They actually require more utensils to break open these rocks to get into the middle of them than you would with a rock. Because a rock, you can use a regular hammer or sledgehammer to break it open, but if you use it against a diamond, the diamond will not crack. Yeah. I've dealt with rocks like that before, so I know, and hippie people with their crystals.
As for the snow area, just before we get to the somewhat final area of the game, of course we're going to see snow types there. I mean, obviously, but snow types. I call them snow types, even though they should be ice types, and whatever. But should be called snow types, but they're just ice.
That could be another element they add to it. Who knows? Snow type.
Yeah.
They're extremely weak to fire.
Yeah.
That would be a good typing because Alolan Vulpix is a snow fox, not an ice fox.
Pretty much. Yeah.
So that would
now
make sense.
assumingly the final area, what type of Pokemon we're gonna see there? Like, I don't know.
Well, in that area, I'm assuming we're not going to be able to see wild Pokemon in there. We're going to see a bunch of trainers. We're going to see a bunch of stuff. If there's going to be any wild Pokemon in there, it would be flying type, because that's a city.
Probably.
We may see rodents because it's a city. We may get... This may be the area where the young goose have originated from.
Probably.
Because the young goose were ported to the Alolan region because they're trying to get rid of the rats, and it ended up backfiring. I'm surprised they didn't put snakes in.
Yeah.
New snakes or anything like that into the Alolan region because, you know, the goose, the mongoose, whatever they're called.
I was thinking like, so you want to talk about the starters for this game?
Yeah, it's about time to get to the starters now. I think it's a good time to start talking about the starters. I have a ton of information.
I have a lot of like ideas of what their final evolutions could be and what types it could be. Because
let's hear it.
These three starters are actually quite interesting to me. Cause, like all three of them, I'm actually interested in. Because so the first one, Grookey is probably like the most exciting one I'm looking forward to. Because it just, you know, it's like a monkey, but I think his final type, yeah, or an ape or whatever, you know.
I was imitating Bowser from the Mario movie.
Oh yeah. So
monkey.
Grookey, second evolution would be a. This will be kind of an interesting one. A grass ground type.
Why do you say grass ground? Hear that.
Grass ground?
Yes. Because that's a very speculated idea a lot of people have been throwing out there, but not many people have been thinking about the way I've been thinking about Grookey.
Now here's a really cool part. Here's a new element they can do. They can do a triple type. This will be the first time they'll ever do this, and I think only for the starters though. They actually do triple types, and I think that'd be awesome. I know it would be much, but I think that'd be really cool.
What do you think?
A tri-type. That's what I would call it.
What do you think they would be then?
You would do a grass, ground, and I would say a fighting type.
Okay.
You would be all three.
Why would you say ground and fighting then?
Well, he's a grass, ground, fighting type.
Yeah, I'm asking, why would you think it would be a ground and fighting type added to it then?
Well, the thing is, what I mean by having three types, because, you know, he has that little bamboo weapon or whatever, and I'm thinking maybe he could be a fighting type.
Stick. Okay.
Maybe he'll have like maybe dual wield like bamboo sticks or something, you know, kind of like that custom pitcher, or maybe he'll just have one, but I just feel like he could be a fighting type. And
okay.
Mini grass. I don't see too many grass fighting types very much in my opinion. Because obviously
we only have 3 of them. One of them is a legendary. One of them is a starter, and it's Chestnut from Generation 6. He's a grass fighter.
I don't really use Chestnut, so.
He was a pretty cool one. I didn't use him either. I used, we both used Greninja more than all 3 of them. But
I'm bringing the reason why I'm bringing up triple types because I think that'd be kind of basically a new thing for the game. You know, since we had double types way back in the day. You know, I think it's about time to have 3 types. I think it is an overkill thing, but it would be cool for certain Pokemon.
Okay.
You know, this would be the game they'll introduce triple types.
Yeah, it could be. That would be a really good idea to do it because they can add more Pokemon to the triple types when the 3rd version of this comes out. But alright, this is how I think of why Grookey could be the fighting type. Because Grookey is a rhythm type. It says right here, name origin. Grookey may be a combination of groove and monkey. In Japanese, his name is Sarunori. May be a combination of Saru, monkey, and Nori is excitement and rhythm.
Oh, what?
Yeah, so I'm thinking...
You know what? I just have a good idea of a new type Pokemon. A dance Pokemon.
That's what Grookey could be. The dancing Pokemon. It uses the Brazilian or it uses breakdancing as its martial art, as its fighting type, which would be really cool.
I like that. And so he could be a grass ground dance type. Yeah.
No, grass fighting.
Types.
Not grass ground.
That actually makes more sense.
Not grass ground, grass fighting. If it was
No,
grass
well,
ground,
the
it
reason
wouldn't be
why
able
I
to do breakdance and stuff. Actually, it could if you think about it.
Yeah, so maybe. Let's see.
I did a lot of research on it because even in the other languages that I looked at, even says that it's other part of its name.
How about grass? How about grass steel dance type?
I don't see Grookey becoming a steel type. I really don't. With all the information that I've gathered, why would you say steel then?
No, I just can't. I couldn't think of any other. What about dark type? Would that work?
I don't see Grookey as a dark type. It could work. Because some dance moves could be
I don't know.
used as revenge to kick some ass.
Yeah. Dance type. So yeah, maybe I'll go with that with Grookey. I actually want them to add 3 types. I just think that'd be really cool.
Yeah,
as
that
for
would be really
Squirt
cool.
Bunny, Squirt Bunny would be a too obvious one because the way his design is.
Firefighting.
He looks very much like a fighting.
That's
We
where a
have
lot of
plenty
people are
fighting starters.
expecting to happen. But now here's the thing. I think the second type is going to be electric. Actually,
Kinda
don't
like
say
Natsu,
I think.
Fire and lightning.
I predict
electric, yeah.
that his other ability or his other typing is going to be electric. I'll even bet you $50 right here and now to say his second type is going to be electric. You want to know why?
Why?
His name in Japanese is Hibani, which Hibana means spark in Japanese. Hibani, hi, or he means fire in Japanese. Hibana means spark and bunny.
Right. So how about this? Since we're gonna add 3 types into this, what do you think his third type's gonna be?
Fighting.
Just assuming if they're gonna do 3 types.
Fighting.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, like, it's no joke right there. Firefighting is something I really like. It's always been a really good combination for me. I know people don't want another starter firefighting. I'm the one that's like, this is the time to encourage it. I want this one to be a firefighting.
Look what happened with Incineroar. Everybody thought he was going to be a firefighting, but he's a fire dark type. So that kind of was like, whoa, that's different.
They did that because they didn't want to upset their fans, but I don't care. Firefighting is actually one of the best combos because it helps covers up his weakness when it comes to like I was going to say ground, but they aren't very good against ground.
I think adding the element of lightning, like, electricity, it makes it so interesting that way. I've never seen a fighter, like a fire, light. I've never really seen one.
Hold on. Actually, I'm going to look that up real quick and see if we have any. I'm sorry, I'm hitting the mic. See if we have any electric fire types Pokemon.
Fire electric. Yeah.
Oh, whoops. Let me delete all that. Oops, I put an E at the end. For, Oh, the only electric fire type we have is Rotom and his fire form. His oven. We don't have any other electric fire types. I see a fan art of Pikachu looking like Charizard. That's dumb. Yeah, that's the only one we have.
That's what I would see. That's what I see for Squirt Bunny would be a
Squirt Bunny
fire electric fighting type.
Would be our technical first original Pokemon with fire electric. Because Rotom doesn't count due to his original typing is electric ghost.
Yeah.
You can just transform into
so
other
now
types.
we have Sobble. We have Sobble. That's the last one.
This is the one that people have a really hard time about. I even have a hard time about
I thought of the idea. I think you're gonna like this one. And this one actually makes a lot of sense. I was thinking about it. If we're gonna have triple types, I was thinking for the first 2 types, a water ghost type. You want to know why? Because he's able to go invisible. And I'm thinking, because you notice he was able to go invisible outside the water that he did. I was thinking, could he be a ghost type? That would be kind of interesting. And,
then how come Kecleon isn't a ghost type then? he's a normal type, and he's able to go
Come.
invisible.
Just
Kecleon.
guessing. It's not. It's just.
It's a good
Yeah, I
prediction,
don't know,
but that's
but
why a lot of people have said that. And I've always sat there and thought, why do people keep thinking he's going to be ghost type because he can go invisible? There's Pokemon out there that it can go invisible and they're not ghost type. Do they not remember Kecleon? Kecleon's pure normal.
You gotta remember, there's a couple Pokemon that I did not know about. Because remember, I stopped playing after Gen 3, and then I got back in Gen 6, so I kind of skipped 2 generations.
And that's the funny part. He's a Gen 3 Pokemon. Yeah.
So, I don't know, I just kind of saw seeing the debut trailer, that's what I'm assuming, but I think now, time passed, you start to think, okay, maybe he could be someone completely, maybe he'll be another new type that we've never seen before, I don't know.
Fingers crossed for that. But I say his second type is going to be a dark type. You want to know why?
Yeah?
Because he's the theater Pokemon. He's the acting Pokemon. He's the one that has the skull in his hand that says, to be or not to be. And
you know what? Back to
dark
Score
type.
Bunny. You know what? Back to Score Bunny. I thought of why not that Score Bunny could be a fairy type?
A fire fairy? Yeah, that could be a good idea. But fairies aren't very active. Fairies aren't very active when it comes to activities like this. So I don't think any of them are going to be fairy type at all.
Look what happened with Decidueye. He was a grass ghost type. Nobody expected a ghost type.
No, he just died.
I wasn't expecting that.
Neither was I, but apparently he dies to become part ghost. He's Robin Hood.
Yeah. So, Sobble, what do you think his final evolution would look like, though? He looks like a salamander thing.
He's a chameleon.
Probably why he goes invisible.
Yeah, that's why, because he's a chameleon. They change color. And according to what I've read up on his name in Japanese, his name is Misun. It's hard to pronounce it.
Almost like mist.
No, it's M-E-S. And his name is partial from meso, which means sobbing, and chameleon. Weird. I didn't know that. I didn't know it meant and chameleon. But
I think for the starter, I don't think we've ever had a Pokemon like a chameleon before, have we?
Yeah. Kecleon. Gen 3. The Pokemon that goes invisible.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. And Treecko.
Considered that one, I think.
Treecko could be considered as that.
Yeah.
His
final types would water and
I see him as a water dark or a water dragon.
Yeah.
Water dark because he's a theater Pokemon, because he's able to become and is acting so well that it gets dark and gritty. Shakespeare, Romeo and Juliet, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Water dragon is because, well, it would be the first one, starter out of all of them to become part dragon outside of Mega Evolution. And he could become the Loch Ness Monster.
Would you consider him normal or no?
What do you mean normal? Staying as a water type the whole time? Or water normal?
No, let's see. I'm trying to think of other types ideas that would be a different one that would really throw people off. Be steel. That wouldn't make any sense.
We already have a water steel. It's Piplup and its evolutions.
Yeah. What starter has never had? Have we ever had a starter that had a fairy type?
Yeah. Do you not remember?
Yeah, we had. It was Primealia,
yeah.
Okay, yeah, so...
I almost said Incineroar. That would have been hilarious. Incineroar. No, he was the dark type.
A fire fairy.
Yeah. Well, because of the theme that I have come up with the starters has been entertainment. Because Scorbunny looks like it's a sports player. Grookey looks like it could be a musician or a dancer. Fingers crossed that it becomes a dancer. Holy crap, that'd be awesome. And Sobble looks like a theater Pokemon. All three of them are entertainments. 3 different genres of entertainment that is the most popular in the world. The most popular one in the world is acting, because we have movies, we have theaters, we have plays, not theaters, plays.
It's everything for pop culture, you know.
Yeah, I mean, like, that's where a lot of our celebrities come from, is acting. And
what would be kind of a cool type? A art type, or basically like, you know, art like Smeargle. He's like an artist.
Yeah.
You know, I think it'd be kind of cool to have an art type Pokemon that just has the word art in as a type. You know, kind of cool. That's an entertainment thing.
Would it be strong or weak to anything?
Maybe.
'Cause I think it'd be weak to water.
Yeah. Or you put a lot of liquid in it. I mean,
yeah, because it'll mess up the drawings.
I'm surprised there's no such thing as liquid type. You know, I'm very amazed by that.
Well, yeah, the liquid type is the water type. I think that's how they're putting it.
I'm just saying, like, I wish they were called a little bit more, instead of just a generic, just water type. I wish they could say be more specific on the names. Call it liquid type. Now it's kind of cool.
Yeah. Also, you gotta
something
remember,
a little different.
When
like,
it first came out,
fire, it would be like magma or something like that.
When it first came
fire
out,
magma's different.
you gotta think about it, when it first came out, that they didn't expect the fans to become adults.
No, it didn't. Yeah. I mean, hey, we did age over Ash, you know, so he needs to catch up.
Yeah, when the series came out, I wasn't even 10 years old yet. I was barely 7 when it came out the first time, and when the show came out.
No one expected what Pokemon what it is today. Nobody ever thought today Pokemon was be as massive as it is. You know, it's crazy, right?
Oh yeah.
We grew up in an era where Pokemon was just getting started, was booming, white hot on the Game Boy, and then of course on the consoles with Pokemon Stadium, Pokemon Snap. I really want Pokemon Snap too, because man, I love Pokemon Snap.
And we have about 814 Pokemon, I think is the number now. 814, including with these 3 starters that were just revealed. Because we don't know if they're going to have 2 evolutions or if they're just going to have 1. Because the only information we have is these are the starters. We don't know if these are the first or the final evolution. They could be the middle evolution. Who knows? They could throw a curveball at us and say, hey, these are the middle form. You're going to be getting them as eggs. And they're going to hatch out of it as a little tadpole.
How about this? Baby types.
They already have baby types. They're considered.
Baby types?
Yeah, it's not an actual type though.
Like, you know.
It's not an actual type. They're considered baby Pokemon, as in they can't do anything. They are too weak to do anything. Happiny, Pichu, there's Togepi. There's a lot of Pokemon out there that are considered baby, and they can't do anything. They can't even breed. You have to have its evolutions to breed. And they have to be holding a certain item for some of them to have those to come out.
Yeah.
Like, to get Munchlax, you have to have Snorlax hold a certain type of incense, and I'm trying to remember to get a Munchlax. Which was very confusing.
I know we're going, like, all over the place here, but I remember the time where, like, Ho-Oh was, like, in the first season of Pokemon. Like, whoa, is that, like, you know, we didn't even know that was, like, a Gen 2 Pokemon until, like...
No.
A long time later.
They were going to call it Pokemon 2.
Togepi was in the first generation. I'm like, wow, this is great.
Yeah, that was very surprising. Ho-Oh was a Gen 2 legendary Pokemon. We were expecting to see it again at any given time during the anime. And I realized that they never showed Ho-Oh in the anime ever again. It was only the movie.
Yeah.
They only showed silhouettes.
You know what he reminded me? You know what he reminded me of is, like, you know, Exodia from Yu-Gi-Oh! It was like that one little epic moment, like, oh shit.
Yeah.
We're going way off topic here, but yeah, the starters here, it'd be very interesting to see what the final evolutions will look like. You know, that's always very exciting. And Now, as for the legendaries, what type of legendaries are we going to see here?
Well, a lot of people are speculating that we're going to get the Sun and Moon eating wolves from, because from, if I remember correctly, they're from the UK, I think. And they were talking about how they were surprised they didn't put them in Sun and Moon, that they could be the new legendaries that we see. They're twins. One's dark and one's fire. But a lot of people don't realize that they already had the wolf Pokemon in Sun and Moon. It was Lycanroc day form and night form. Then they had a third one for some reason.
Pretty much.
Yeah, Lycanroc was that Pokemon that people were wanting, but they were common Pokemon instead of legendary. And I really am liking how they made them as common instead of legendary, because they could become the legendary Pokemon we'll see in this game, as they are on the hilt of the sword and the top of the shield.
These wolves could actually wield like a sword, like one will have a sword in his mouth and one will have like a shield like floating around or whatever. That would actually be kind of cool.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool. That one, that would be interesting.
Have we ever had a wolf that wielded a sword in his mouth?
Well, outside of animes, no.
Yeah, I mean, that would be kind of really cool. I mean, I guess almost the closest thing, if like Link was a Pokemon and Wolf Link, he would have his Master Sword in his mouth and start fighting with him.
I actually thought that would happen, but it didn't.
But yeah, another thing, like, okay, you remember how in the Alolan region we had different types of like the Generation 1 Pokemon? So I was thinking, are we gonna have one for Generation 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7?
Are you talking about the Mega Evolutions?
Like the different types. Like say if Lucario was a completely different type. Or if, you know...
Or are you talking about the Alolan forms? The regional types?
Yeah.
Okay, so the regional
I wonder if they're going to
variants.
bring those back and put...
Yeah, of course they are. They started it with the Alolan region, and they were trying to introduce it, which is the perfect place to do it. Because if you think about it, Charizard was technically the first one because of his Mega Evolution. The X form. Yeah. He became a dragon.
Yeah.
Everybody wanted him to be a dragon, but because dragon is literally the most powerful type in Gen 1, they decided to make him just a flying type instead of a dragon. To make it a little bit more even. But now, there's so many Pokemon out there, we may get one of our starters as a dragon. Fingers crossed that it could be Sobble. Or, who knows, maybe they'll fucking shoot something out of their ass and make Scorbunny or Grookey into a dragon. You see a monkey dragon or a rabbit dragon. Well, that kind of rhymed. Rabbit dragon.
Yeah, a monkey dragon would be kind of cool.
That'd be hilarious to see. He's just gigantic, breathing fire out of his mouth, going ooh, 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 and flying around like Superman.
Yeah. Yeah.
It wouldn't be Grookey anymore. It would be Druggy. Draggy.
I like that name.
I just came up with that on the top of my head. But who knows? Maybe these will be the first starters that have a regional variant. Maybe outside of the Kalos. What am I thinking? Outside of the Galar region, maybe they're not water, fire, and grass. Maybe they're actually something else. Like Sobble could be actually.
You know, everybody's always been wanting different types for starters, like a starter for a electric type, a starter for a ghost type, a starter for a steel type, or something completely different.
Well,
besides just fire, water, and grass every single generation.
Honestly,
I've always wanted that.
Until the game comes out, we're not 100% sure. But this is so far a missed opportunity. They mentioned Poipole was a starter Pokemon. He's an Ultra Beast. He was a starter, and he's Poison type. I want him. Yeah. I was predicting... Well, I'm still trying to fix that edit out. It's screwing up so much, and it keeps crashing. Poipole would be the perfect starter Pokemon outside of the usual fire, grass, water. he's a poison type, which is completely different. Then he evolves into a poison dragon, which is pretty cool. He has one evolution, but it's no big deal because he's considered a legendary Pokemon due to their stats. They could have had this Galar region in the Ultra universe instead of the Pokemon universe. It'd be really cool to see that. It's a missed opportunity.
Cool ideas. There's a lot of missed opportunities that they did, but at the same time, they can add those opportunities into this game because Pokemon's so huge, and they can learn like, okay, we missed it out, but we heard the fans. Let's actually add this element in there because that's the one thing I do like about the Pokemon franchises. When they make new games, they always add new elements. They'll add a new Mega Evolution. They'll add a Lowland Pokemon, and then now maybe for the first time ever, maybe have starters that aren't the 3 traditional types, and then everybody be like, "Whoa, we have an electric type as this starter," be kind of like. And that would make things like, say, for the Final Evolution, you wouldn't have a clue what they're going to turn into because it wouldn't be so obvious. It'd be like, okay, this is going to be very different.
Oh, yeah. And now, speaking of Mega Evolution, do you think these 3 starters will have Mega Evolution? We only have 2 starters that have, 2 starters of, as in generations, that have Mega Evolutions. Gen 1 and Gen 3. The other generations don't have Mega Evolutions for their starters.
It's very true because I feel like that we need more Mega Evolutions for the starters, and I think they should bring those back because I think the Mega Evolutions look cool. I really think.
Well, the reason why they didn't bring it into the Alolan region as part of the story is because they were trying to get people into the Z Crystal stuff. I really like that. It was a really cool concept. It gives you even more strategy to know when to use it at any given time, whether in their Mega form. Well, actually, no, you can't use it when they're in Mega form. You have a decision to use it as a Mega form, or you use a Z Crystal on that Pokemon. And Z Crystals can be used on any Pokemon, and as long as they have, let's say you're using...
Z moves are basically like your super attack,
Let's just say you're using a ground type Pokemon, and he's using an electric type. You can use the Electrizium, whatever it's called, Z Crystal on him, and his instead of using Thunderbolt, he'll use Gigavolt Punch or whatever that move was called. I forget. It's in the anime a lot bigger than Pikachu.
Wasn't a electric type. What other type would you like to see Pikachu in? What other type?
According to what I've noticed, they're leaking out some really old Pokemon back when Gen 1 was started. They had silhouettes or not silhouettes, they had sprites. That's what I was looking for. Sprites of all these Pokemon. The evolution of Raichu is in there. Gorochu. And...
Gorochu?
Yeah. People are speculating we're going to get the Mega Evolution of Raichu in this. Well, people are saying it's more of an evolution. I'm just going to say I see it as more of a mega form of Raichu. It's Gorochu. But instead of being called... sorry, I hit the mic. Instead of being called Gorochu, it's a Megachu. I mean, Mega Raichu.
Yeah. Like if Pikachu was a different type, I think Pikachu is like a fire type. It would be really, really interesting.
Oh yeah, that would be really cool to see.
A ghost Pikachu would be kind of crazy.
That would be pretty crazy. Well, technically, we already have that.
Mimikyu, But I mean, a little bit more creative on like the Pokemon. This is another missed opportunity for the Alolan region. I was expecting maybe Charmander, Bulbasaur, and Squirtle were going to be different types. I was really hoping they would actually switch those up because man, that would have been so cool.
Yeah, that would have been a good idea to do that, but
think about Charizard becoming electric type. That would be kind of crazy.
Or actually becoming a straight up dragon.
Yeah. And then instead of his tail being fire, it'd be electricity. Be like, whoa.
Oh yeah, electricity coming out.
I'm very excited that this first impressions of this game. I think I'm impressed about what I'm seeing because this is the one we've been waiting for, the next generation Pokemon game. I'm all in for it, and I'm excited to see what new types we're going to see. And actually, I think the main question is, are we going to finally hit 1,000 Pokemon in this generation?
Oh, yeah. My prediction is if it's not going to happen now, we're definitely getting it in Gen 9. If we get a Gen 9. From the sound of it, they're not done with this one. They're not done with Pokemon. When it came out for...
They're going to continue. I mean...
Kalos region, Gen 6, it sounded like that's where they were going to end it, because they said it all comes together. I think it was Gen 6. But, yeah, a lot of people were expecting it to end, and then Sun and Moon come out, and they're like, oh, it's not ending.
I think that 1,000 Pokemon should be insane.
I'm gonna say
that we were from 151, and now we're gonna be near 1,000, which is insane.
Hold on. I have the number of what I'm speculating if it's not going to be 1,000.
There's a lot of Pokemon.
I'm gonna say we're gonna have a minimal
1,000 Pokemon, and plus trainers and everything else. It's like, but
how many
Pokemon? This would be really cool.
Here's something.
1,000.
Okay, speaking of the 1,000, we have let me see. A total of every Pokemon is 809 currently, not including their other forms or alternate forms, like Alolan forms or Mega forms. We're not including that. 809 total.
Yeah.
That's not including the 3 starters. We have 191 Pokemon left to make it to 1,000 exactly. 191. Now, my question is, if it's not going to reach to 1,000, how many Pokemon do you think that'll be? My guess is going to be around 160.
I'm going to say, well, you remember Gen 5 was the most, right?
Gen 5 has the most. It has 152 Pokemon. 54 or something like that.
In one's amount. So, alright.
Yeah, you were cut off there for a sec.
So, I think Gen 8, I think we are going to get 1,000 Pokemon. Because this region is really huge.
Yeah.
And I feel like that... I mean, the Alolan region was pretty big, but it was just little islands and all that stuff. And, but this is a big whole continent. And, this place is going to be big. And I think afterwards, by post-game, we're going to see even newer Pokemon that we never knew about. Because, of course, in typical Pokemon fashion, you'll find legendary Pokemon you never ran into in the game, like Mewtwo and all that. So I think, and the legendary birds. So I think that we are going to hit 1,000. I think this will be the most. And that's my prediction. I think that 1,000, this is the time to do it. And this is going to be obviously a groundbreaking thing to do. Like, being Pokemon, Generation 8, 1,000 Pokemon. That's what I'm going to go with.
Yeah.
How about you?
Yeah, I think that too. But I'm asking you, what do you think the number would be of how many Pokemon there will be if they don't hit 1,000? I said 100, around 160.
Well,
they're gonna have, because we're 191.
So how many total do we have? How many?
Huh?
No, 800 and what?
We have 809 total right now, outside of looking at their alternate forms. 809 total.
Okay.
We have 191 Pokemon that's needed to reach to exactly 1,000. But if they're not going to make it to 1,000, I'm expecting 160 Pokemon, give or take a couple, of what I'm thinking. 160 Pokemon if it's not going to reach 1,000.
Yeah. Actually sounds kind of realistic, 160 something. Yeah, so maybe that could happen, and then maybe we'll get a couple add-on newer Pokemon. It will be very close to it being like 960 Pokemon, something like that.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool.
So I'm going out of my way here. I feel like if this is the game they need to add the most Pokemon, this would be it.
Yeah.
Because this region, I've been looking at the picture ever since we started recording. It's really big. It's twice the size, if not even more, than the Alolan region was. And Gen 5 was based on New York City. That's why there was so much Pokemon in that game. So I'm thinking that this one, it's going to probably exceed our expectations because how much Pokemon is going to really be here. And you could be right on your part, but I'm gonna go out of my way and say we're gonna get exactly 1,000. Point blank, exactly 1,000.
Okay, so you say exactly? That's awesome. I like that. So you're thinking there's going to be 190 Pokemon, 191
It's
exactly
insane.
for Gen 8.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that would be impressive.
Yeah.
This would be the best opportunity to have a ton of Pokemon in there. I say if they're going to reach 1,000, I think they're going to overshoot it. And I say it's going to be exactly 200 more new Pokemon. So I'm going to say 9 more if they're going to reach 1,000. And if they're not going to reach 1,000, I say 160. Like I said, give or take a couple Pokemon.
160 sounds more likely, but I think that, people are like, oh my god, we got 1,000. And the 1,000 Pokemon would be the
giant legendary that we see on the side of the mountain or the hill.
Oh, it's the one. Remember, like Celebi and Mew, those type of Pokemon.
Oh, you're talking about the mythical legendaries.
The mythical, yes, the mythical legendary. That would be like the 1,000 Pokemon, and that'd be something like that. Could we? I think we're gonna get this, but I'm not sure. But considering you did see it, you said it before. Ultra Beast. Any new Ultra Beast in this?
Oh yeah, we're gonna get a lot more Ultra Beast in this one. I mean, like, Ultra Beast are very unique. They're super strong, and I wouldn't doubt
very unique.
I wouldn't doubt that we're gonna have them, because, I mean, after they revealed them in the Alolan region, they've been popping up as, hey, these Pokemon showed up over here in this region when I heard about it. Hey, they're in Kanto?
Yeah. So yeah, I think having the Ultra Beast idea in the Alolan region was very original. I was like, well, they're very different, and the designs of the Pokemon look so out there. They're like alien Pokemon, basically.
Yeah. My favorite one out of all of them was Xurkitree, because he looked so unique, but yet he just looked like a bunch of power lines from the Christmas tree, and I was like, huh. I like his head. Yeah. Looks pretty cool. He still is my one of my favorites. Poiple is my favorite, and he looks completely different. He doesn't even look like he would be an Ultra Beast.
My favorite is Necrozma. When I saw him, I was like, oh my god, that thing looks so cool.
And that's the funny thing. Necrozma is not an Ultra Beast. He's a regular Pokemon.
I always got confused that he was an Ultra Beast or not, because when you ran into him, he didn't seem like a normal legendary.
No. The only thing I'm upset about is you can't catch the him in his ultimate form. I forget what it's called. I want that form.
Oh, it's like
Zygarde. How you didn't have the 100% form until Alola came out. Sun and Moon.
Yeah. So Buzzwole. Buzzwole's kind of cool looking.
He's cool looking and ridiculous looking. He's a giant mosquito that's huge and buff. He's like, let me suck your blood, bruh.
So that's what it was. I was like, that thing is weird, but that's cool at the same time.
Yeah.
It's like, it's just different. That's what it is.
He's a mosquito.
Guzzlord looks cool. Guzzlord looks freaking awesome.
He's scary. If you haven't watched the episode in Pokemon Sun and Moon with Ash encounters him, and oh my god, that's terrifying. I didn't know that Guzzlord was that huge. Oh my god. We're tiny compared to him.
Basically your nightmare. He's a nightmare Pokemon.
Pretty much. And he's a dragon.
Yeah.
The little thing on the top of his head, that's his weak point.
Yeah. Isn't he a dragon, like, ghost type? He has to be a ghost.
No, he's not good. I don't think he's ghost. Let me double check that.
Should I always thought Necrozma was always a Ultra Beast. When we first played the game, I actually thought, oh, he's a legendary Ultra Beast Pokemon, but no, he's not. And I was like, oh, that's a twist. Because he looks completely different than any other legendary I've ever seen.
Yeah. Oh, he's a dark dragon. I thought he was just dragon. He's a dark dragon.
Okay. All right.
That's pretty cool.
Do you have any more ideas? Do you have any more? Is there like I think we said all the major things in the Galar region. Like
Necrozma's ultimate
What
form is
else?
called the Ultra Necrozma. His other two.
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah. Yeah.
His other
Ultra
two
Nec-
forms is called Duskmane and Dawn Wings Necrozma. So yeah, that's the thing. I'm kind of upset about this. We don't have those other forms we can use.
Yeah.
Because he's straight
Like how,
psychic by himself.
Yeah. So it's the Ultra Necrozma forms. Yeah. I really don't know what this game's going to turn out to be. How many Pokemon we're going to get, what the final evolutions, are they going to get Mega Evolutions? There's a lot of speculation that are very interesting right now. And that's, every new Pokemon game, we did this with Sun and Moon. We talked about with Sun and Moon, we talked about with every generation. We don't know. And it's funny that I predicted like a year ago before they announced the Alolan Pokemons. And I was like, oh my god, like, they showed Sandshrew as an ice type. I was like, I was joking when I was predicting when I said that, and I wasn't thinking it was going to ever come true. And so my outside. Okay, so I think to end this off, since this podcast has been pretty long.
Actually, before we end it off, let me ask you this, because I completely forgot about him until just now. What do you think about this being the origin of Meltan and Melmetal?
I don't know too much about that Pokemon. I've seen him everywhere, and he's really big and buff when he changes.
There's a problem with him. We don't know where he's from. We just know apparently he's an original Kanto Pokemon. Maybe they'll change it up and say outside of the Pokemon Go universe.
Could he be a Mewtwo situation?
No.
He's like created.
He's a mythical legendary. Apparently, he's a mythical legendary. You have to unlock him by catching. You have to evolve him by catching a bunch of Meltan, and Meltan is only able to come out whenever you meet certain conditions.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird.
Certain criteria. Yeah.
Where is it? It's right here.
Yeah. So
you need to have like 400 of these Meltans to fuse together to make Melmetal. He requires 400 candy to evolve. I wonder if they're going to keep that into this, because he's a Pokemon Go exclusive Pokemon right now. He's not in-game. I have him in my Let's Go Eevee and Pikachu, but he's very, very weird. I mean, I can keep catching them left and right, but I still can't get enough to get Melmetal.
Pokemon, we don't know much about his origins right now. Maybe in this game they'll explain some backstory. I don't know.
Oh, his Pokedex entry says right here, revered long ago for its captivity to create iron from nothing. For some reason, it has come back to life after 3,000 years. You know what happened 3,000 years ago in the world of Pokemon? Gen 7 had the gun to where it went off and it came down and destroyed and sacrificed a lot of Pokemon and people, and that's when Mega Evolution came in. That's what created the Mega Stones. Maybe he was part of that, and life was sucked out of him, but because he's a machine, it didn't kill him. He came back because he's liquid metal.
I think that story about him is pretty interesting.
Oh yeah.
I like origins where they explain Pokemon, like Zygarde, for example. They explain about his origins, and I like the way that where Pokemon were created in a certain way. They were just very different, and you really find out the origins behind them. Like, how was Mewtwo? Like, Mewtwo was pretty much a clone of Mew, and then that story was really interesting. That was one of the first ideas of that. So maybe this Pokemon is truly like the origins of all Pokemon. What if he's officially the first Pokemon ever to exist? That'd be kind of like a twist.
Technically, it's supposed to be Arceus, according to the Pokemon lore.
Oh, you know what? Because he kind of does, because his color scheme. He could be the baby version of Arceus.
No, because he's all steel. Arceus is normal. And he can change his
That's
typing.
true, but I mean, like, it's the color scheme that he has. It's very similar to Arceus.
Meltan and Melmetal are silver and gold. Arceus is white.
Yeah. Maybe he's like he's like a well, I wouldn't say related, but like, I don't know. It's like.
I say he could be part of the reason why the metal or the mechanical Pokemon are alive, like Magnemite. He could be the reason why Magnemite exists. Evolving into Magneton and Magnezone. He could be the reason why Kling Clang and Kling Clang has been alive, which is the dumbest name.
Yeah, Kling Clang Clang.
It's Kling Clang,
what the hell, man?
And he evolves into Kling Clang.
Wow. How about Tick and TikTok? Tick-Tick-Tock.
I'm surprised they don't have that. I'm surprised they don't have Hocus Pocus.
Okay, so I have an interesting question. What type of Pokemon, like animals have we not seen yet? Have we had an elephant Pokemon or a dolphin Pokemon or anything like that?
Not dolphin, but elephants, yes. We've had a couple. Do you not remember Phanpy?
Yeah.
Donphin? Its evolution?
Yeah, I do remember, but I don't remember. It's probably not too many that I've seen.
We have Mamoswine that's a combination of a pig and a mammoth. Swinub.
So many Pokemon now that I have to really think, like, what types have we not seen?
The closest thing
Pokemon.
The closest thing to a dolphin would have to be Lantern. But he's more of a fish than a mammal. That's all I have to say. I'm surprised
we really don't have a dolphin Pokemon.
Me too.
At this point, I mean, like, really? I think the Alolan region was a huge missed opportunity for that.
I'm surprised they didn't make more Shark-type Pokemon in that one, because that's where a lot of Shark attacks happen. That's where the Great Whites like to hang out, I think. They could have had a Great White type. I mean, Pokemon. A Great White Shark Pokemon. Stronger than Sharpedo. Bigger than Sharpedo.
I think to end this off, what would be your bold, crazy prediction for this game? Like, a crazy prediction that could come true, but you're not sure.
Well, that it becomes the Ultra Space, Ultra Space, instead of the world of Pokemon that we are from and used to. This ends up being where all of those Ultra Pokemon have originated from. I mean, Ultra Beast, not Ultra Pokemon. We find out that carving on the side was actually that clown Ultra Beast. I forget his name. Give me a sec. Let me have it right here. Back up more. His name is Blaze Fallon. It's Blaze Fallon. I did not know that was his name. Blaze Fallon. BLACEPHALON. Blaze Fallon. He's a fire ghost type. Well, this could be where he originated from, because if they keep the theme of entertainment of my prediction about this could be the place where he is originated from, because he's a clown, technically. His head explodes into fireworks, entertainment, a New Year's thing for all around the world.
So that would be your crazy bold prediction.
Yes, that Generation 8 is actually in Ultra Space. That we're in that area of where some of these Ultra Beasts originated from. like Steka.
That's actually a really good prediction because we really want to see the origins behind the Ultra Beast. We only just saw a glimpse of it.
Oh yeah.
In the Alolan region, basically, and we're so interested. Like, who are these Ultra Beasts? Where do they come from? They're able to go different dimensions and all that. And I was like, I gotta know more about these interesting creatures here. So my bold prediction would, well, let me think about this. I have to really think about this one. A crazy prediction that could come true.
And it's crazy.
It is, it's like you have to really think, and you're like, I know this probably won't happen, but it could happen. Your idea is actually really cool, and I like it. But
I stole it. It's mine. Nobody can have it.
What if we have? This is going to be really crazy. I don't think this will ever happen. We have a Zelda situation. This is the light world, and there's a dark world. Everything's purely dark, and you see dark type Pokemon everywhere. And then you have you notice the region here is very gorgeous and pretty, and then you see a dark side, which is called the negative world.
That would be
where everything's all dark.
Beautiful. We would have a Link Between Worlds, a Link to the Past theme to it. Oh my god, that'd be awesome. This is Sword and Shield. That would be the perfect time to be like, hey, your character's original name is, if you choose the male character, is Link.
Yeah.
And you get this ability to travel to the, what's the backwards name of this one? Arlag. Instead of Galar, it's Raulag.
I think the backwards name sounds pretty cool too, because I was thinking we haven't had a world that's like the reverse option where it's all dark and everything. You see darker Pokemon, more ghost types, and it's like, oh my god, this is terrifying. And then you start seeing the Ultra Beasts coming in a lot more. That's where the dark world is at. And I'm thinking that bold prediction is actually very intriguing to me, because this region's so big, and I'm thinking there's got to be a second half to this. There's no way this is it.
No,
there's no way.
They gotta make it as big as possible for this one. Look what they did with a Link, Breath of the Wild. They made that game so big that I don't even know if they're gonna make it any bigger than this on the next Zelda game.
So I'm thinking by the start of the world, the start of the Galar region, when you flip it, the farm town is fully in flames. Everything's on fire. You see the whole town's on fire.
It's the
you're
apocalypse.
Like, oh my god, this is like
apocalypse.
That'd be cool. And then see the sky, it's red instead of normally clear blue skies. It's purely red. And then when you go to the lake area, it's poison, actual mist and poison instead of just clear water. So everything's purely negative. And then when you finally get to the steampunk area, then that's where you start seeing crazy shit happening, where it's just chaos, constant things are happening, and just every world, every part of the area you think it's gorgeous as it is right now, you see the other side of it, the negative world, where all the ultra beasts are actually from. They're just in the other dimension. And I think that idea, as crazy as that sounds, I would love it in this game. I think that'd be really cool. You get to see the true colors of what the Galar region really actually is. Because you're just seeing the pretty side of it. You're not really seeing what's inside the Galar region itself.
It would be called Raulag instead of Galar.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's beautiful. Because A Link Between Worlds is my all-time favorite Zelda game. I'm actually wanting to play that again now because of that. I actually, you know what? Like when I played that game, when I played Link to the Past a long time ago, when you saw the world of Hyrule, and you see the Lorule world of Link Between Worlds, you're like, whoa, there's a darker side of the same world. It's kind of interesting. Oh yeah.
And
I've never played Link to the Past, so I never knew about that.
Pokemon needs to really do that idea where the entire world is completely reversed. And I'm amazed that at this point, because I know obviously they don't want to copy it, but I think the idea of it is so unique for a Pokemon game. Because think of the Pokemon you can see differently outside of the normal Galar region. You'd be seeing completely different Pokemon that are more dark and ghost type than ever before. And when you play this version, you're thinking, where are the ghost type and dark types? I can't seem to run into them. And you only run into a few Ultra Beasts in this world, but the Ultra Beasts in this world are more the light, kind of like normal, but they're kind of like, they're not dark or anything like that, because, you know, Ultra Beasts have different types. So I'm thinking that the darker types are going to be the negative world. And you start seeing the really scary stuff. You start to see what makes this region more dangerous than it actually is. And you're terrified. You're like, oh shit, I don't even know if I can make it through this. You know,
Oh, yeah.
I think that idea, think about how gorgeous the dark world's going to be, by how gritty and dark it's going to look. It's gonna be like, wow, I did not think they were gonna do this. Become one of the best ever regions in Pokemon ever to do that idea I just brought up, because that idea sounds so fascinating to me.
That would be a really
because it
awesome
tells
idea.
you a story about what's really going on in the Galar region, what caused this dark world to happen. Maybe this dark world is actually what it really was, and you're seeing the nicer side of it, that what could have been, you know?
Yeah.
So, you know what? I actually thought Sword and Shield was going to be called, and this is a name that I thought Gen 8 was going to be. Pokemon Past, Pokemon Future.
Yeah, a lot of people.
See what I'm doing here?
Yeah, a lot of people were thinking that could have been the next one. But then again, I was like, nah, there's no way they're going to name their games something like that. They usually stick to colors and materials and, I guess, letters. And then they go Sword and Shield.
You know what? When I thought of the idea of the negative world and all that, when you think of past and future, that makes a lot of sense here.
Oh yeah,
it really does. Because the dark side this Galar region is the past version. The future.
The dark side is your father.
You start to see something of a time skip, and it's like, I think I like time in Pokemon. I just think that sounds really cool to me. Maybe they'll do that in Gen 9, but I don't know. But I just think that.
What if the steampunk area is the time travel area?
Punk area, what?
The steampunk area could be the time travel area.
Yeah, because it has the clock tower, you know.
That's not the clock tower that I thought you were talking about.
Wait,
Holy crap. That is a clock tower. Holy crap. But yeah, that's one of the clock towers, but I was talking about the other one. But yeah, because it's steampunk, metal, mechanical, and all that, maybe that's where it is. It could be, if you put it in the game, that could be the area where you can time travel.
I'm gonna do like a dark version of the world, and you see just various different things, and then the clock actually would be different timed than the normal one did, and when you're in the darker world, it's always nighttime. It's always nighttime. You can't go day and night, so you're stuck in this loop of time that never ends. And it's basically time stops, and you're literally screwed. You're in a nightmare, the world of nightmare, basically. And
nightmare version.
Yeah, Pokemon like Dreams and Pokemon Nightmare.
That was another one that people
That's
predicted.
Pretty cool.
Actually, what's his name? A guy I watch for stuff like this, for content like this. I watch a guy called Birdkeeper Toby. He mentioned about nightmares and dreams, and he actually wanted that to happen. That would have been cool.
Yeah, I think that would be kind of cool to have a dream type Pokemon game where you're like the trainer, and you're dreaming to be becoming a trainer, like an actual Pokemon master, but it was all a dream after all.
Yeah.
And
it's a nightmare for.
I was thinking that has to have.
The evil team.
Everything's dark and gritty, and it's just pure evil, and I think that idea needs to happen. It really needs to happen. These ideas that we're coming through right now, it's like there's so many possibilities they can do with Pokemon right now. They can really go outside the box at this point. Sword and Shield's pretty cool. I think the idea of this is pretty cool, but I feel like there's a lot more to it because this is a debut trailer. There's still going to be more that we don't know of yet.
Mm-hmm.
And so obviously we don't know what the legendaries are going to be. We don't know. We only know the starters, and that is it. So they're really trying to keep it to where we don't know much yet. But we don't know how many Pokemon they're going to be in here. So really, it's just speculation. But I think I like your bold prediction. But mine was actually on the fly. I didn't really think about it. I just thought about it right away. I was like, and it hit me once I was about to talk about it. I was like, you know what? I like this, like normal and like opposite dark side. I think that sounds so freaking crazy. But I know it won't probably happen here, but I would love it for it to happen. I would be really shocked if that was actually coming true.
Mm-hmm.
But I think your idea makes a lot more sense, though. But
but I like your idea better.
Idea?
I like your idea a lot better.
Yeah, because
a dark world and
Yeah.
a light world.
yeah. I'm surprised they haven't made a Pokemon game called Pokemon Light and Dark. Basically, Black and White is that, but they could have called it Light and Dark.
Yeah, that could have been the second version of that, Light and Dark, instead of Black and White 2. Or then again,
Because
they
all
could have
people are
gone with
like,
like
oh
gray
wait,
version.
because everybody be like racist, Pokemon racist, you know, Black and White. Surprised back then, like you know, you have the memes, Pokemon Black and White, and it's actually a black and white guy. So
Hey.
yeah, we got from that conversation. But so that's my bold prediction is like the normal Galar region, and then you flip it, and you see the dark side of it, and I think that idea sounds really cool. And think about the origin stories you can get behind that. Like, man, that would be crazy.
Hey, here's something
Just-
that we actually forgot to talk about. The evil
that?
team. What do you think about the evil team? Hello?
I think we're gonna get Team Liberty. Team Liberty.
Wow,
in a
what
sense,
the hell
because
just
it's based
happened?
on kind of Europe.
Hello?
Yeah, so Team
RP,
Liberty.
can you hear me?
Kind of cool.
Hello?
I can hear you.
Okay, there is a huge delay
Hear
right
me?
then and there. Yeah, I can hear you. There is something just happened right there.
Okay.
You got cut off for so
Okay.
long. Alright, now tell me, what do you think about the evil team?
The evil team that I thought of would be Team Liberty.
Liberty?
You know, because Liberty. Team Liberty would be kind of cool because it's based on Europe, and I'm thinking that the UK or whatever, something Liberty because it would just make sense, So there would be multiple teams. I wouldn't say that would be the one team, but I mean, because there was like Team Aqua, Team Magma, but Team Liberty would be one, and then Team Loyalty. Well, not Loyalty, because that would be another like good side, but
Liberty can be good too, but people can use it as bad. Well, I wasn't.
true.
I wasn't sure about the evil team myself, because the only way I could see the evil team working is if they actually succeeded in taking over something, and from the looks of it, it could be the steampunk area.
Yeah, absolutely. I can see that. I saw some fan art. You probably already seen on Twitter or Facebook or anything. I saw like Pokemon that look like those royal guards, and they actually look convincing. But I know they're not real, but they look cool.
Oh yeah. I haven't seen the images, but I know about them. It's interesting to know about what people are predicting about these guys, and I'm like, they're not going to be generic like that. Not all three of them are going to be the exact same thing.
That would be too stereotypical to look like that because it's based on Europe. So they don't want to make them look so much like European stuff. So
they want to make a lot of things
but
look like it, but not everything.
Try to keep it original. Don't try to do stereotypical. Don't pull like a gumshoe situation where he looks like Donald Trump
with his tiny hands.
Yeah. But at the same time, so the evil team. I like the Team Skull thing in Gen 6.
I hated Team Skull. I thought they were going to be awesome, but they turned out to be a bunch of idiots. Literally. Hey, we're here to take over this town. Ow! Oh, okay, we're running away. I barely touched you. Why'd you run away? We didn't think you would fight back. I mean, like, come on. I'll
I actually think the leader.
the leader was the
Guzma
only one.
or
Guzma.
Yeah, I thought he was kind of cool.
He was the only one that didn't back down. He actually gets in your face and goes, "Come on, let's go. Let's do it again. Bet you can't beat me this time."
His theme song is so cool too.
Oh yeah, he was cool. He's the only reason why I actually like Team Skull is him. But everybody else, they just made Team Skull look so weak. They looked worse than Team Rocket from the first gen.
Yeah. It was upsetting because they seem to have potential to be really badasses. When you saw Team Skull, and you're like, wow, these guys are a bunch of chumps, man.
If you see my reaction in the demo from when I first played it, oh my god, my reaction. I was like, how the hell did they put these guys into this game as the evil team? Everybody's been always proper, looking like they're business people kind of thing, knowing what they're doing. But these guys, they just spontaneously do something when they want to. And I'm like, what the fuck happened to this? These are wannabe gangsters.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a bunch of yeah. So the evil team, I think they'll be a lot more serious in this situation.
I think this one may be the most serious one outside of Team Rocket in the Alolan region. Because,
Giovanni, when you first encountered him, you felt like, oh man, this is getting intense.
Oh yeah.
Giovanni didn't play, all right?
No, he didn't.
He didn't play. Because he took it very seriously. And I miss that vibe when you run into an evil team and they're like really evil. And, remember in the anime when he got Mewtwo out there in full armor. And speaking of armor, we need to talk about that. Armored evolution.
Yeah, I don't think
I'm glad I didn't want to forget. Yeah, but I mean, the idea sounds pretty cool. But I think in maybe the next generation, we need areas that have more like steel types and all that stuff. And yeah, so obviously this game won't have that. But armor evolution would be so cool.
It could. You never know. But I don't think they're going to do it. I think that they're just trying to make people think other ways. I'm trying to see it as, I don't think they're going to do armor evolution because they're going to copy Digimon completely. The Mega Evolution is already one step toward it. If they do that, that's all.
Yeah, what they need to do with armor evolution, they need to do it a little bit differently. I mean, but I think we'll probably worry about that the next time when Gen 9 comes out, the next 5 years from now.
Actually, that's a good prediction.
We'll see.
3 to 5 years would be the next gen, because they release these announce every 3 years after the first one. After it's released, 3 years after it's released is when they announce the next one.
And so I'm gonna say from 3 to 5 years we're gonna get Gen 9, and I think Gen 9 that might actually introduce armor evolution, and that'd be kind of really cool. And but they would have to do it very differently to Digimon. So
here's an idea that they could do.
Be kind of,
instead of making an evolution, you can actually add the pieces to them as armor and making them armored Pokemon instead of armor evolution.
Okay.
Yeah. I could see that happening instead of the evolution, because the evolution would definitely copy Digimon, and they don't want to copy Digimon. They would get sued. Unless they gave them permission.
Yeah. Yeah. But I think that the armor evolution for Pokemon would be kind of different. Maybe it'll be different than what we're debating right now. Maybe they're going to do something. I don't know how much different they can do it, but we'll see. I mean, that's only time will tell. But for this generation, I think the ideas that came up with us right now, it seems pretty likely. Although the story that I brought up with the whole negative world, I mean, that's pretty insane. But I would like that for that to happen. Maybe watch that what happened in Gen 9, but not Gen 8, right? So. But yeah, so I think that's all the major things we've said, because this is our basically first impression of the game. So there's still a lot of information we don't know yet. So. Are you? Would you like to do another podcast like this, like a part 2, and maybe we'll get more information? Because more information will definitely help.
That's the thing, because I can't freaking edit the thing correctly. The program keeps crashing. I can't get it out there. The thing is, every time Pokemon has come out, at least after Gen 2, because at the time I had no idea Gen 2 was going to be, coming out, and also I had no idea that Gen 2, Pokemon was going to continue after Gen 2. After that,
I didn't know that either. I was like, whoa, there's another
I've decided to myself, to be spoiler free. It's only the first trailer, unless they come out with an announcement saying we have a new type coming out. Because I did that with Gen 6 with Kalos.
When I see the new trailers, I won't tell you it. So because obviously you were like that with Sun and Moon, you only saw the first.
I've been like that with every generation, except for Gen 4 because I had no idea that it was out already when Gen 5 came out. I accidentally skipped Gen 4.
Because when I was looking forward to Gen 7, I saw all the final evolutions of the starters. And I'm like, I want to go with Decidueye. I really like that style of Pokemon, and I went with Rowlet. So I knew what I was going with. Yeah. So I understand when you pick a Pokemon, you're like, I don't know what their final evolution is going to be, and you'd be like, I'm just going to pick a random one, or pick your favorite, assuming if they're going to look cool or not. You know?
Oh yeah.
You don't know what they're going to look like. So yeah. So I actually think we're not going to get a new trailer Pokemon until E3 because E3 is like a big year for Nintendo.
When is E3?
Well, E3 is. Remember how we watched the God of War trailer? Way back where they showed the big stuff.
No, I'm asking when is the next E3?
Is it? It's in June. It's every year in the summer.
Okay.
You know, so it's.
We may get one more trailer in between here and then, because that's kind of far. We may, as in, but
yeah.
Until then,
come on, they are absolutely gonna have Pokemon. They did it with Sun and Moon.
If they announce
it came out and,
a new type is coming out, but they don't tell us what it is, then yes, I will analyze and predict what it could be from what they used to reveal the new type. Like I did with Sylveon. When they revealed Sylveon and they said it's going to be a completely different type that we don't have, and my prediction was 100% spot on. Fairy, surprise, surprise. Wish I bet on that one. I would.
Speaking of the Eevee evolution, are we going to see a new one?
If we're gonna see a new one, it'll definitely be a dragon. If anybody thinks that it's gonna be anything outside of dragon or ghost type, y'all, just to say, everybody is completely wrong and doesn't realize that the evolutions are special attack Pokemon only, not physical. If you notice that electric, water, fire, dark, psychic, grass, ice, and fairy are all special attack, and the only two that we haven't used that are special attack is dragon and ghost, and ghost is actually considered both physical and special attack. That's one of the reasons why they haven't used ghost, probably because it's part physical and they're trying to keep it traditional as special attack Pokemon only. Dragon type is the last one.
So I think a ghost type of Eevee evolution would look really cool.
Yeah, I already drew out my fan art of it. Yeah. It's kind of cute-ish. I try to make it cute-ish when I drew it out. Even made a shiny colored form of it. Its original color is blue with darker blue tint for its spine and horns. And he has wings on his front legs, so that way he could be a wyvern type dragon. And I named him Wyverion.
Nice.
I have the ghost one. I drew that one years ago, back before Sun and Moon was even thought of. The ghost one I named Goulion, and oh my god. I mean, like, I don't think they ever going to do it. And if they ever use it, I really hope they do, fingers crossed, because he's a fading away kind of look to him. You never see the bottom of his paws, never see the tip of his tail or his ears, and if you look into his eyes, your soul is sucked into an eternal of torment. His eye sucks your soul in. That's the thing. That's fucking awesome. And it kind of has a little bit of an aura like Ghastly does, but not as aggressive.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, we didn't really get a new evolution in the last generation.
No.
Surprising.
We get them every even number of generation, and this one we're definitely going to get another one. If not one, we're going to get two, and the last two is Dragon and Ghost.
And And that'll complete all of it until we get another new type, whatever that
Unless they come out with a new type, the only one that that I'm going to be seeing are Dragon and Ghost, Goulion and Wyverion. It'll be really cool to see.
Yeah.
And Wyverion, the one that I created, he doesn't have a dragon tail. He has a little bit of a fox tail. To keep the fox look to it. Because, you know, it's a fox. And a lot of people were like, no, he's a cat. No, he's a fucking fox. Except for maybe Espeon, but still.
I think that's the last bit of information that we got, because I didn't want to forget about the evolutions. That was like one of the last things.
That was one of the things I wanted to talk about too, yes.
I guess, how long has this video been now?
Let me see. Where is it? Right there. We've been doing this for a minute 45-ish. 1 minute.
It's probably an hour 40.
I mean, 1 hour 44 minutes. 1 hour and 44 minutes. That's how long.
I would say a minute 45. That's the longest minute 45 ever.
Right?
Yeah. Time must have begun going real slow. I think hits somewhere around here doing time skips.
Shit. No. Actually, no, that's a good thing. No, it's a bad thing. That means everything else goes slow around me. I want my Pokemon game to come out sooner than later.
So, I guess that's it. I mean, I really can't think of anything else. I think we said all the major things possible.
Alright, here's one more. Those gyms.
One more?
Yeah, the gyms aren't gyms. They're stadiums. Do you think they give out badges? Or do you think they're going to give out trophies?
Could they get out, like crowns? Like, you know, just based on, you know, England and all that? Could they give out becoming a king or a queen, you know?
That's a possibility.
It's basically like a royal, stadium would be kind of cool. And because they would have to do something different. Badges, we've been through that already. But a crown would be kind of different. So
yeah,
you get different crowns. Not one crown, you get multiple crowns. And each crown would actually solidify a badge in a way, but all crowns would be different. So
could be.
I think that idea is kind of cool because it's based on a stadium, but it's a royal stadium. So it would be really, really different.
That would be really cool.
You got to really think.
That could be the final one.
In England, you know, they're all royal, loyalty, you know, liberty. It's all that stuff that they have, you know, royal guards and all that. So I'm thinking, instead of just regular badges, they got to be a little bit more creative. And I think crowns, because they have obviously kings and queens there. They have, you know, queen over there in England right now. So I'm thinking they need to use crowns. So I think that idea is kind of cool.
Yeah. That's a good idea, but I would see that as more of a final one that you would get as the champion. You get the crown, but before you get the crown, you get trophies instead to represent that you beat the stadium.
I think trophies makes a lot of sense too. I think the trophies will be the stadiums because it makes a lot of sense. But when you're the Pokemon champion, you actually win that crown if you're a king or queen, because everybody thought the name of this game was going to be Pokemon Queen and King. But I think the idea of Sword and Shield makes more sense because Sword and Shield, if you think way back in the day in Europe, they were having a war, so it's Sword and Shield.
Yeah. Who knows? Maybe this could be the timeline before.
I thought of another idea. Could we be seeing a night Pokemon? An actual knight?
Possibly. We could see that.
I think
the closest one to a knight that we have is Excalibur, and Bisharp, and Poniard, and I forget which Shellman's evolution is called. We have those that are closest to that. Who knows? Maybe we'll get a king and queen piece. Oh my god.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
We'll have a whole chessboard if they do that. Because the only thing we're missing is a king and a queen. We have a knight. We don't have a knight.
Centaur? Do we have a centaur Pokemon?
No, we don't even have a Minotaur.
Oh, wow, yeah, we don't have a Minotaur. Wow. The ideas that they can do with new Pokemon would be so cool. Minotaur would be like up to the mountains, like up into the snowy area we've seen a Minotaur, or maybe the actual canyon we'll see a Minotaur there. But yeah, a Centaur would be kind of cool. So if you think like European knights and sorcery and stuff like that, a warrior, like a warrior knight, not just a knight, but like a warrior type brute or whatever. So they can really do a lot of cool things with unique Pokemon. And since this is a region that's basically Europe and England are basically, so and actually somebody quote, I think you already know this, but I didn't know this till a little bit later until I watched video, that this is actually the continent in real life. It's just flipped. And
Yeah.
I didn't even know that. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Now I see it.
A lot of people are wondering why London was
while.
on the top of the map instead of the bottom. And I'm like,
So,
I don't know. Maybe because they flipped it, and then somebody made that thing to where they said it's flipped, because where you could be possibly starting out is the Scotland farmlands.
yeah. So I think, and also, could we be seeing an Eiffel Tower Pokemon? An Eiffel Tower bears, that'd be kind of cool.
Actually, we already had that with
That'd be weird,
Kalos.
though.
They didn't do it then, and I don't think they're going to do it now. An Eiffel Tower Pokemon.
Yeah.
Oops, I hit the mic.
Uh,
If they do that, then we're going to have to make it into King Kong.
basically, Tower Pokemon. Because, yeah, as you know, we've had ice cream Pokemon. We've had the most ridiculous Pokemon ever.
Ice
So
cream.
I'm thinking, yeah, it's like
We've also had Mr.
they
Mime.
went in New York, and
Ugh.
yeah. So I'm thinking an Eiffel Tower Pokemon would be so weird, but it would be kind of cool, I have to shrink it down because the Eiffel Tower is massive, by the way. So, I don't know. I mean, I'm trying to think of some weird Pokemon that are going to be in this game. I think that's my last really idea that I come up, because every Pokemon game always has a weird type Pokemon. They always have the weird looking ones.
Yeah.
Either just so out there. I think an Eiffel Tower one would be that one, and
Who knows, maybe we'll
I think
get
the most
one.
ridiculous Pokemon that I've ever seen is an ice cream Pokemon. I was like, wow. Like,
You think
they
that's
went
the
with
most
an ice
ridiculous
cream-
one? My most favorite ridiculous looking one is the Sandcastle one from the Alolan region. Sandygast.
I like that one. I like that one.
He's
Yeah.
hilarious. Oh my god, when I first encountered him, I was like, what the hell? That pile of sand just attacked me. Wait, a pile of sand is a Pokemon? His name is Sandygast? Wow, that is so fucking stupid. I want him.
It's like he's so dumb. It's like he's so dumb, but you like it at the same time. Like, it's so silly, but it's so cool.
Well, it was completely out of the blue. We got a Sandcastle Pokemon.
Yeah.
What? I want him. It's so stupid. I'll pay you billions of dollars. He was my ground type for most of the game after I got him.
What was your reaction to the ice cream Pokemon in Gen 5? You're like, what the hell?
Well, the first form I was like, aw, that's kind of cute. And his second evolution came out, I'm like, huh. If he evolves again, I'll be surprised. Because it's not that bad, but looks bad. Evolves again with a straw in its head. I'm like, what the? What?
Yeah. I think that's like one of the weirdest ones I've ever seen, but it's unique in a way because they were like, let's just do something totally different that's not counting like a machine or an animal. We'll just put a food like character in there. You know, it's like, okay. I'm surprised we don't have a burger Pokemon or a pizza Pokemon.
I don't think we're
they
gonna
can
have
You know
food
what?
Pokemon.
They can do a pizza Pokemon here because really in Europe they're known for, in Paris they're known for that freaking,
You're
pizza.
thinking of
you know?
Italy.
So I'm
Italy
thinking
is the
Italy's
one that's-
somewhere around here, and if you flip it around, so a pizza Pokemon. would be
Italy
so
is
crazy.
completely southern form of Europe, dude. It's the boot, remember? Italy is the boot.
Yeah, I know, but
it
I mean,
is
like,
the
'cause
opposite
Europe's so
side
big,
of
and
Europe.
I'm thinking that it'd be, you know, because I think it's just the Europe area. I think there's more to it because obviously this is our first impression, but it is based in Europe. But it's just maybe there's more to it. Maybe they can throw crazy curveball Pokemon. That's why I thought of the idea, because when I think of Europe, for whatever reason, I think of Paris, I think of Italy, I think of like other places. I don't know why, I just do. Because
Yeah,
when
but that's the
Pizza,
thing. This isn't Europe. This is the UK.
yeah, but
UK has London, Ireland, Scotland, and a couple other places that I can't remember at the moment that have in it. If it was all of Europe, that means Kalos wouldn't exist because that's Paris.
yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah, you're right. But I mean, Europe is very, very big, so I don't think they would do that. But
Yeah, they would
yeah, this is just
separate
part of
it.
the UK. An insanely huge map if they put the whole Europe, like Russia in there, and my God, China. Well,
China's not
think
even
they would do
Russian.
that.
Is not Russian. No shit, it's not Russian. China's not even part of Europe. It's Asia.
Yeah. So I mean, like the whole continent, that entire continent that's connected, that would be like a Breath of the Wild map. Okay.
Yeah.
Man. But when I saw the trailer, this game trailer, I thought, you know what, this game could be open world, but it has a linear feel, and it's always been linear. But I've always wanted a open world Pokemon game. I think that'd be so cool, man.
Everybody wants that. I even want that. I want it to where it was like Pokemon Let's Go, where you can see the Pokemon outside of the grass, have the decision if you want them, they can follow you or not. And I want an open world where there's literally no boundaries preventing you from continuing, except for people being in the way because you have to progress the story.
I was thinking for open world Pokemon game, I thought this would have been the game to do it, but I think they can do it.
Experimenting first before they do that. And
How
plus,
this game turns out,
others.
obviously it's fine. But yeah,
There's people
so
out there
it's
that are
like
doing it.
an open world Pokemon game. They would have to do a lot. Like it would be a lot of work. It would literally be many years of working on it. But the ideas of what they can do, you can go wherever you want. Like how Breath of the Wild did it. How like many of the other games, like any other game that's been open world. I'm thinking there's yet to been a Pokemon open world game. And I'm like, there needs to be one at this point.
Oh yeah.
Someday we are going to get, in our lifetime, we are going to get an open world Zelda game.
Of course we are.
I mean, it needs to happen at this point because Pokemon's so huge, it's been huge for so long now, and I'm thinking people's been talking about this. It's not just us. A lot of people really want an open world Pokemon game. The idea of like exploring every possible continent out there. If they can do it with Zelda, they can do it with Pokemon. And remember, Zelda's always been a linear game for so long, so they made that into an open world environment where you're able. Remember, you see Death Mountain. You're able to go there. It's not just a scenery area. You were able to actually go there. And you remember when we were actually kids, and you actually play a Zelda game or a Pokemon game. You're like, oh man, I wish I can go there. But nowadays we're able to, which is crazy. It's like, wow, that's so weird, but it's so cool at the same time. So I'm thinking Pokemon, they can do like a huge continent area, and you can explore so many areas that you didn't think you would get to. There's no boundaries. You can just do whatever the hell you want. I mean, there have to be a boundary somewhere, but I feel like this should be kind of unlimited. And it can loop. Like if you go through the surf, and you can go to like Lapras or whatever, and you can just surf around and just loop around, so it won't feel like you're, in a part where there's like an invisible wall. So
yeah.
I think that idea would be kind of cool. So an open world Pokemon game, and as for the region it would be, well, I don't know yet because it's way too early to say, but its ideas going through my mind right now what the next Pokemon game could be. But this would actually be a major transition over the Pokemon games we played. This would change everything. People would be like, now I think from now on we're gonna get open world games. So, but they would have to make it unique though. They can't just keep doing the same thing. They would have to do something very different. Now, another idea was not for this game. I think the ideas for this game is done at this point. But I'm thinking for future games, because I know that we could talk about these sometime later. But I was thinking, why not we ever go to space for Pokemon?
Yeah.
I've done yet. go in space. I know that sounds crazy, but
it could happen. They can make it to where
try to go to
make
space,
more Pokemon on a different planet.
Yeah. Mario Galaxy situation, and do that, and you see different Pokemon from different planets. I mean, they can really do so much stuff. Pokemon can really open itself, like the open world aspect, the whole negative world, dark world. There's so many ideas they can do that I feel like it's so open out there. And people keep bringing up those mentioning to the creators, like, hey, think of this idea. This would be really cool. You can, do space Pokemon like aliens and stuff. And yeah, so we're only in the 8th generation. What I mean by only 8, because 9th generation, 10th generation, when we do get to that point, some of these ideas might actually come true. Who knows? No one will really know right by now, but it's good to really think about these ideas. And when you look back at this video, you're like, holy crap, I actually called it, even though it was a crazy prediction.
Yep.
So, the ideas for this Galar region would be very fascinating, outside of my crazy prediction. But just everything else about it is really fascinating to me. And I think by the Pokemon that we're going to be seeing, I'm still going to say it's going to be exactly 1,000 Pokemon. But outside of that not being the case, it's going to be very close, maybe like 960 Pokemon, like how you said. And yeah, that could be around 160, because that would have been the most ever in a Pokemon game, of course.
Yep.
So that could be an idea. And I was going to say who's the rival. I guess it's obviously going to be the female counterpart. But we usually have a rival, like a different character, right?
Well,
so who's a
they've
rival
been making the other trainer.
Obviously, probably the original character, but
recently they haven't made the other trainer the rival lately. It's always somebody they always added in since Gen 7. Gen 6.
Yeah. You know what I liked about Gen 7 was the fact they brought back Red and Blue. I was like, oh my god, like that's so cool, man. Red and Green, or Red and Blue. Yeah, I was confused.
Red, Blue, or Green, whatever you want to call him. I actually call him Gary on accident sometimes.
Yeah.
Because he sounds like this when he talks.
God, that is so cool, dude. Yeah. When you battled them, she plays the music, and I was like, oh my god, this is like a throwback. This is crazy. Only for people that played Generation 1 would recognize those characters. Because all the new people, they're like, who are these characters? And you're like, oh man, you're missing the moment here. These are characters from the very beginning.
Oh yeah.
Just think about how cool, that you run into Red, you're like, man, you're the very first Pokemon tree. You're the very first one that we played, and, we're fighting you. Actually, Generation 2, when you actually fought him, it was surprising. You're like, whoa, I did not expect we're going to fight him.
Yeah, right? He's at the top of whatever the mountain was called, I forget. And you challenge him as Gold. And the funny thing is, people don't realize that Red isn't the strongest Pokemon trainer. It's actually possibly Gold. And that's up for debate because you're playing as Gold and not Red. If the roles were switched, then yeah, Red would be the stronger one because you're playing as Red. But think about this. What if you were in the place of Gold? You would be the stronger trainer.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
So you're beating the previous champion, so you're becoming the new champion. So that's the point.
You're beating the legend. The guy that caught all 151 Pokemon. That's why he's considered the legend. Nobody else has caught all the Pokemon in their region, I should say. Who knows? Maybe so you think maybe this trainer in this Generation 8, both the male and the female protagonist, will be the new Red, where they catch all the Pokemon in their region and become a legend with all that.
Yeah. So I'm thinking that the rival would be someone pretty epic, of course, because they gotta make it really cool. I feel like the rival in Alolan region was very, very, very too friendly. I feel like I really wish they were actually rivals, where they actually they hated you, and then later on they kind of respect you. That's what I really enjoy about the older games.
I agree.
And the later games they were too nice. It was like it didn't have the tension that it had.
I agree. He was too nice. But you gotta think about it. Having your attitude doesn't mean that you're a bad trainer. I have to say, I underestimated him a couple of times. He may not have beaten me but one time, but he's a tough trainer. Hal was a tough trainer. Yeah, he was all itty-gitty and always on the positive side about everything, but that guy can fucking fight, dude.
Yeah, he's put it. I feel like the guy that had what's his name? He had a cool theme in the Alolan version. He was the guy with the blonde hair. Galleon, I think that's his name.
Gladion.
Gladion. Yeah. I thought he was more of the rival character. I thought he was cool. I thought he was a cool character.
You don't realize, a lot of people, I shouldn't say you, it's not just you, it's everybody, because it took me a while to figure this out myself. The rival is the one that you have been playing next to this entire time. The person that started with you exactly at the same time has been with you all the way through to where you've ended up. Gladion ended up around halfway through the game. Gladion, a lot of people were like, that was the true rival. He's the one that got irritated and kicked your ass whenever he wanted to. No. And people were saying that you were Hal's rival. And the definition of a rival is whenever both people are at mutual grounds at competition with each other. Not one person attacking the other because they don't like them. No, it's not. It's mutual grounds in competition with each other. It's the thing. Gladion was not in competition. He was just trying to be better than you because he wanted to be the reason why he took out Team Skull and the Aether Foundation and eventually an Ultra Sun and Moon. Rainbow Rocket.
I just like the idea of where somebody is really like jealous of you, like they don't like you, and that's why I like the Gen 1 Pokemon game where he was just a narcissist asshole to you, and you just felt tension. You felt like, all right, I got to be better than this guy, and then he just keeps getting better. You get better, and then the very end, he doesn't want to admit he lost, but then he admits he loses. Like, all right, you're the better man. And then next time we'll face each other again. So that's what a rival's always been like to me, because we played the older games, but now it feels like, man, I kind of wish it was like no attention games. That's just how I feel. And I like that.
I do like the rival being an ass. It gives you more of a reason to go after them, to be better than them. But me, honestly, as long as the rival is there to make you get better, a guy that you have no idea when you're going to run into them comes at you with their Pokemon stronger than you expected, that's how I like it, regardless if they're friendly or not. As long as they're good at
that's one thing about Hal. He is really, really good, like when he faces you, and that's one thing I'll give him credit for. Yes, he's friendly to you, but boy, when he fights, he's not a pushover.
No, he's not a pushover. He's tough. He knows how to play.
You pretty well, and I do like how rivals are not just so predictable, but like when they really get down to it near the end, it's like, man, I really got to start doing a different strategy here, and that's what I enjoy about the Pokemon games in general, and that's why they're so good. The typing is always very, very important to find counterparts of that, and be very careful of your strategy. You got to be extremely cautious about what you're doing.
Yeah,
and you can't just do one move and expect. You can't just spam one move and predict, oh, this is going to be a critical hit or a, You
got to think about this.
Yeah.
You and him, unless you decide to do it, are the only Pokemon trainers out there that don't have a theme. Everybody is stuck to one theme. I have a bunch of normal type Pokemon. I have a bunch of Magikarp. Or I'm a Dragon trainer, and this and that. And you have a variety of Pokemon, as does your rival. Y'all two are the only ones. That's the reason why I see why they're tough. Who knows? Maybe this rival in this game will have all Fire-type Pokemon. Or all Grass-type.
What if this trainer you had Pokemon you had, but the other one had the opposite types that were actually your weakness, and you had to find a way to beat that one?
You mean like, oh man, you mean like they've always done it?
I think they've always done it, but I mean like all the Pokemon, not just saying one. I'm saying all of them that you have, but the other one has it at the exact opposite.
Oh, you're saying that all the Pokemon that they have is strong against all of your Pokemon. It doesn't matter which one you catch, they'll
Yeah,
always have your Pokemon's weakness. Like if you ended up catching a Pikachu, or let's see, you know this one, from the Unova region, Imoga. I almost forgot his name. The two Pikachu related ones right there, electric. Now, your rival will get a ground type Pokemon to counter it, and depending if you get Pikachu or Emolga, it would always be a different Pokemon. There's hopefully over 1,000 Pokemon they can choose from when it comes to the typing.
I think that idea is cool because you have to switch the Pokemon that's the weakness to that Pokemon. So it's a different strategy, and I think that would be really, really interesting for your rival, just your rival, because the trainers, they get whatever, you know, but I feel like for your rival, it's like they will get the opposite of what you got. And I think that makes it a lot more challenging. It's like, oh man, now I really, really got to think about what Pokemon I got to use against this one.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I think the idea is cool. And this is a game I think they should do it in because it's scripted. It's a scripted battle. When you pick like your starter Pokemon, of course the other one's going to pick the opposite one. They always have done that. But the other Pokemon, the other 5, need to be the exact same thing because it's a scripted fight. So I'm thinking somebody will get a brand new Pokemon type and you get an opposite type that's weaker, but you didn't know that until you ran into this Pokemon. You're like, oh man, now I got to switch to my starter Pokemon for this whatever type it is.
Yeah.
So it really makes you think. It really makes you think you have to switch a lot. You cannot use that Pokemon because that Pokemon will be knocked out.
Or if you have a Pokemon like my Mewtwo is, where you have all of his weaknesses covered by using their weakness against them. Like, I Mega Evolved my Mewtwo into Mega X form, where he's a Psychic Fighting type. He's weak to a lot of things. So I gave him the moveset of Aura Sphere, Psy Strike, Ice Beam, which is kind of the one that I couldn't figure out what to replace for the 4th move, and oh fuck, I can't remember. Hold on. It was Aura Sphere, Psy Strike, Ice Beam, and I can't remember. Well, it was a really strong move. I know that. And I could pull up my game right now to see, but I don't know where my 3DS is. There it is. To fight, he was that strong, and I really wanted to make sure that he wouldn't lose very quickly because Mega Mewtwo X, the Psychic Fighting type Pokemon, is actually the stronger one of the two, because not just because he's gaining a type and he's weak to himself when it comes to the Mega Form Y, but it's because he has a stab boost, an extra stab boost towards his fighting type move whenever you Mega Evolve him with Aura Sphere.
Yeah. I have something funny I really, really want to show you here for a Pokemon. And I saw this picture and I'm like, oh my god. I think you've seen everything about Pokemon and everything, but I don't know if you've seen this, so I'm going to show you it right now. It's hilarious. You'll get the reference when you see it.
How do I get back to you?
See it?
I can't. I actually don't know how to.
It's on Discord. I showed you a picture of it.
Yeah, I can't get back to Discord for some reason. You know what? I'll do it off of my iPad.
But yeah, I think that the idea of having separate types is kind of interesting for your rival.
Oh god, only yes. For the rival. I love it. You're despicable.
Saw it?
Yes, I love it.
Yeah, that's great. Him as Bugs Bunny.
Yeah, Score Bunny as Bugs Bunny.
It did not take long to actually make him Bugs Bunny, because literally it's a bunny, so.
And Piplup is Daffy Duck, which is weird because he's a penguin.
Yeah.
Here he is.
I knew that there was a lot that we needed.
It was Shadow Ball. I couldn't remember for the life of me. His moveset is Aura Sphere, Shadow Ball, Ice Beam, and Side Strike to cover up all of his weaknesses for that exact reason. So, yeah. So that way, if the rival would come up with other Pokemon that would do that against my Mewtwo, I would always have a counterattack with my Mewtwo. Be like, I'm going to send out a Ghost type. I'm going to use my Shadow Ball. He's also going to be Mega Evolving into the Mega X form, so he can have Fighting type added to it. Or a Sphere can work. Well, I don't think it's going to work against him, but it works. I mean, like, because Aura Sphere is if it works, like I remember, it gets stronger the more damage your Pokemon takes. So yeah. Or is that just Lucario I'm thinking of? I think it's just Lucario.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I guess that's it. I mean, I think we said all the major key points about our first impression of Pokemon Generation 8 Sword and Shield. So, good thing I didn't want to forget about the rival thing, because that was one of the last things I remembered I wanted to say.
Oh, yeah. Alright, guys, that's the end of the podcast that I'm doing for this. If I'm going to do another Pokemon Generation 8, it'll be only because they were revealing a new type, and they want us to guess, like they did with the Fairy type. That's only if. But if there's going to be another podcast, I'm going to do it with a completely different game for sure. And it'll be after Pokemon Generation 8 comes out for our discussions, probably with a couple people. Hopefully I'll get more people to talk about this later on. So, until then.
Hey, it was nice to have me on here, because, hey, I'm a big Pokemon fan as well. I mean, obviously my friend Drake is an even bigger fan. He knows a lot more information than I do, but I recently got back into it a couple of years ago. So, yeah, I'm very excited for Generation 8. And when I saw the trailer, it got me really convincing that this is going to be really good. So.
Oh, yeah. Alright,
so I guess that's it. So,
right.
I'll see everyone later.
He'll see you later. And I'll see you guys on the same Fox channel at the same Fox time.